Come straight in.
Okay.
All right. Now you're on the East Coast, right?
I am. Where are you located?
I'm in Houston, Texas. We're like the second largest city right now.
Oh wow. So you guys are what, an hour or two behind? I
You're
hear
an hour. If you're in ATL, right?
yes.
You're an hour behind us. In fact, I'm having a family trip, planning a family trip to come out that way. So if I'm in town and you're free, we would love to meet up with you. And you point us in the direction of the best place to eat. I'm a
Come
foodie.
on. Okay. Along with a few people, we be able to recommend that really.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Now, I want to ask you a couple of questions about you because, man, I heard your voice on The Voice, and
Hmm.
I said, this man can sing any song. You can really, and that's not a common thing to find,
Yeah.
in artists today. Today, you know what I mean, in
Today.
2023.
Hmm.
And I noticed that I was like, they really took you on a journey of different challenges with your voice. So
Yeah.
that's kind of one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, well, number one, I want to know if you're from Atlanta. Are you from the ATL?
Well, I'm actually from South Carolina,
Okay.
born and raised in the country, in a small town of Andrews. So if you want to know how music got it, man, that's it. Because there wasn't much to do either to music, either working or I always said getting in trouble somewhere. When I
Right. So you said it's not much to do in South Carolina. Now that's a state I've never traveled to. So, but I'm assuming it's pretty beautiful out there, right?
it is like I live in the low country. I'm from the low country area near like Myrtle Beach. So
Okay.
you have that string of places where there's water, Polly's Island, Myrtle Beach, the
Okay.
Grand Strand, like that stuff is beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen pictures. I'm gonna definitely have to travel there one day.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I will. And you gave me the vibe that you may have been like you have some Caribbean roots. Not just because of the hair, it's just the tonality,
Mhm.
maybe the accent. There's no one in your family that's Caribbean?
It kind of goes down. It goes deep. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I should get my ancestors,
Yeah, you should.
and really figure it out. Yeah,
I'm detecting that. I'm definitely detecting that
they
from
run.
you big time. Detecting the whole Caribbean vibe here. So, like I said, I noticed that you have gone through a lot of challenges, especially on The Voice. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure that was nerve wracking, but what a huge accomplishment for you to make it that far. You know what I'm saying? Like, tell me about that journey. Like, how did you go from South Carolina to Atlanta? I hope I'm saying it in the right order to The
Hmm.
Voice. You tell me.
Well, I would say my journey started in 2012. I was right after I graduated in 2005. I stayed in South Carolina from 2005 to like the end of 2011.
Mhm.
And through that time, like again, small town, not many places to record, not many places, not even many places. Nowhere has a studio for you to really run into. So it's like most times it's really singing at weddings. You're singing in church, or you kind of just singing by yourself. You know. So
Mhm.
even around that time, we didn't really have that I could go to, or these things that they have now. So 2012 was when I actually finally made the move to Atlanta. And even when I got there, it wasn't all peaches, like it was like immediate hurdle after immediate road after roadblock. This is like here you are trying to humble and you got this good great talent. You're just running into so many different people,
Yeah.
that are saying you have a great talent, but they don't have the best regards for your career.
It's like you just pulled the questions right out of my head because
Oh, yeah.
I had that question waiting on you. Seriously, I was gonna ask you on your journey, what type of challenges did you face? What kind of roadblocks were before you? Did your hometown support you? Because typically that's the main barrier between a talented person and success.
Yeah, yes, it is. So, you could imagine, I'm in a new place in 2012. I got up with some people, it went left pretty fast after a few months, and I ended up tying a contract. But on top of that, like, well, posting content wasn't as relevant as it is now. but it was something to do back then. But even in there wasn't much support yet. Because, I was still a Jamar Langley, came from the talent family that's from Andrew, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Like people may not have seen much around that time, but I saw it. But
Right.
getting to it, and it was an immediate failures. Trying to get or being the last in the room, or having to match to just being a musician in the and it was humbling. But I'm like, I can't. I mean, how much more humbling do I need right now? But I'm glad I went through all that because it built up me and made me on my downtime really, sing, performing, playing on instruments. I practice every day,
Yeah,
and
so you're a real musical artist. You
yes,
don't just sing. I saw you playing the guitar on The Voice. I said, how is he? Listen, I think people that can play the guitar and sing or just do more than one thing at the same time, you guys are geniuses. There is no way. I would mess that whole song up.
yeah. And then the pressure. I know a lot of people was like, "Wow, you did it under like." There was like seemed to be a lot of pressure. Like this is aired out to the world, and here you are just not only singing, cruising, you're playing it too. And
With accuracy and hitting all the notes vocally. I'm telling you, I observed that and I'm like, I used to play the trumpet. So as a fellow
my
musician,
first
look,
too,
I'm not that good though. I'm okay. Very much mid.
that was
Very
one
much mid. What's that?
that was one of my first instruments.
Yeah. That's usually because you know why? 3 valves. You can't go wrong with
You
three
can't go
valves.
wrong. You can't hit by so many wrong notes.
Exactly. I mean, it's refreshing to meet somebody of your stature that has made so many accomplishments this far, and yet you're so humble. Like I really appreciate it that you are someone that's gracing the stage today because you're gonna teach some people out there that are extremely talented that no matter how many barriers they face, no matter how many people
Yeah.
that they know and love that doubt them,
Mm-hmm.
that if they continue to just push forward and continue to have that faith in themselves, then there is no one and nothing that can stop their success. And that's what the point that I want to drive home today with this segment, because there are a lot of people out here who their talents and their blessings are not being given to the world because of all of the other people who are doubting them and they're allowing those people to get in their mind. So we have
Yes,
to block the haters,
you
you
gotta
know?
say this, man, from the beginning. You got to have to do. I mean, there were times I post stuff, and I would literally get like and maybe a share after
Right.
a two, maybe some stop and comment, and like, I would be still self the fact that hey, at least I'm holding it down and posting it at the time, and even when I released music, it wasn't really this grand thing. As talented, as great as the album is, it still was like 5 likes, 2 shares.
Yeah.
It was like a low,
Right.
you know.
And you know, it's funny. What I think, this is just my opinion about that. People look for a particular look. They're looking for this status quo appeal, right? Something that they're
I,
used to seeing, a vibe that they're used to feeling. And when somebody like yourself with pure energy and authenticity comes on the scene, they don't know what to do with that. They
no,
don't
they,
know what to do with it because we're not used to thinking on our own. This,
yeah,
society is very much like a monolith at this point,
mm,
right? If you
yeah,
don't emulate what they're used to, it's hard for people to understand you.
that is so true. That's so true, and that goes even when you look at these days, and you wonder, you see more accidents and more fights and more acts of violence, getting all these millions and millions of views, or these short videos that's seconds, and nobody think millions of views, and it's like you could tell people don't want to, they don't want to understand. They just want you to fall in and kind of just
Exactly.
do what you used to. Like, so true.
Exactly. We're gonna do better though, one step at a time. Now, let me ask you
I,
this.
I believe one step at a time.
Yeah, once that's all we can do at this point, But I do want to know who inspires you.
Um, More than anything, my dad and my mom. I always say those are the first stars I ever heard in my life. You know, my dad, first person I ever see get, you know, as a little boy. My mom used to sing to me all the time. So, you know, like round 2 and 3, that's how I caught that ear. I feel like my gift was mature, like started maturing around that time because of them. And so, like, you know, they inspired me to keep on. Even to this day, I mean, they still push me to never stop doing this, no matter how hard it is, no matter how much money I may not have. It doesn't matter what the situation is. They're always saying, just don't stop. We see it. Started a
Yeah.
long time ago, and we're going to keep. But
I
then,
love it.
you know, of course, I have artists that have inspired me over time.
Mm-hmm.
You
Who
know,
are they?
such as
Name one.
okay, I'm gonna name one. So and this is always hard because it's just so many. But for today, I have to give my flowers to my guy Smokey Robinson for sure. I
All
mean,
right, Smokey Robinson. I
Smokey,
gotta agree with that.
he's lasted time, and I'm in the season of I call it kind of like the season of smoke, where I want to last the test of time. You know, I want to as music shifts and I start to develop this, because even if you think about it, their sound wasn't accepted just yet. It took back then. It takes a while for a new sound to kind of emerge. So I just want the patience and perseverance that he has, because he's 82, 83, and I can appreciate that
Amen.
more than
Seriously.
more than anything.
Yeah, that your music will outlast you for sure, and that's exactly what you want.
Yeah, that's
Exactly what you want.
definitely
Now
one.
look, I'm gonna ask you a little more personal question here because I'm nosy. I like to know my guest on the show.
Oh,
Now, okay, so my favorite food is oxtails with rice and peas. What's your favorite food?
ooh, my favorite food is sweet potato salmon with a side of asparagus.
Okay, real home cooked food from the South. Stop
Yeah,
playing with them, y'all.
stop
Stop
playing.
playing.
That's
If
it.
you don't know how to cook, get away from them because you can mess up salmon if you don't know what you're doing.
If you mess it up, you
That sounds good too because I'm hungry right now.
listen.
Hold
That's
on. So we have some comments coming in. I didn't even read. I'm sorry, y'all. Something sounds crazy. I don't know what it is, but maybe something. Oh, with the speaker, it probably is. There's no telling, but I hope you guys can still hear us. Thank you so much for the compliment. This
thank you.
girl is asking you to sing. That's wild. And we have Titan saying, hey, so everybody's just happy to see you on the show today. Like, very inspiring for real. So now I have something to say about my favorite artist. So you said Smokey Robinson is one. Now, I know, don't crucify me, guys, who are going to watch this show later and who are watching it right now. But one of my favorite rappers right now is Kanye West because he's very, how can I say, he's very prophetic in his raps. And he also raps from his soul. So even though right, wrong, or different, it is his truth. And I just love that because there's not a lot of people who can be brutally honest about how they feel in their music. Usually they just like to go with what's in, and that's not him. He does not care. Now, vocally, oh, I know y'all gonna get me. But vocally, I love me some R. Kelly. Now, not because of his lyrics, but his ability to go up and down, crescendo out. I don't know what the terms are. You can help me out here. But like vocally, there's like hardly anyone that can touch him. I don't agree with what he's done, but that man is extremely talented.
Yeah, I must say he is definitely extremely talented. There was one time we got the chance to work with him, um, in 2015. Yeah, I met him. You know, I met him playing basketball because that's all he did. So it's like,
Okay.
just him, yeah, play basketball. He could take a shower and then he would go to the field and he would write like 2 or 3 songs and go
Wow.
in and like sing it perfectly. And that's it. That was his day. He did it every day. That
Some
was it.
people are just born with it. I'm telling you, and what a blessing. Like you've had a blessed life to meet some of these very talented people. I mean,
Yes.
that is just a blessing. Now, you've talked to me about, where you're from, your journey into making it into where you are today on The Voice. You even talked to us about some of the barriers that you face, even with people that you thought should be in your corner. And God knows we all can attest to that. I
Yeah.
would like to know, like, how long did it take for you to train your voice to the level that it is today?
Um, I would say because I started singing at the age of 3. That was the first time I could even hear a note and know that, like, oh, it's off, or it needs to be pitched correct. Even though I didn't know the terms at the time, of course. But around the age of like 12, I was already singing at my aunt's wedding. I was singing at people, so it already started to come together around 12. But it took from 12 to about 21 to really scope my voice because I used to listen to so much music, includes like Boyz II Men, and I used to listen to Tank all the time and Jamie Foxx, and
Mhm.
you listen to those singers, the way they sing with all the runs and riffs, it's kind of like even down to like somebody like Kim Burrell, I used to listen to her too, and then just listening to them, it's kind of you want to become running rifty, but I'm like, okay,
Right.
so where did they get it from? So then I went to like people like Elephants, and then I discovered like Sam Cooke and then Otis Redding, and like, and kind of saw how they started to shape their voices a little more. They were kind of like showing nuances of runs and riffs, but like they would place it in certain places. So it wasn't until about I was like 20 or 21 when I actually understood what I was doing vocally. And once I
Wow.
understood what I wanted to do and how I wanted to sound,
Mhm.
um, that's when it started to really make sense
Since
vocally.
age 3, though, so you've had all this great practice, and it attests to how well you sound and your ability and your ability just to just morph into any song. Like, you have a diverse range, and I can definitely appreciate that. Now, I do want to ask you, after The Voice, how did your life change?
Oh, goodness. Well, I inspired a lot of people for more than anything, and that's something I really want to do, especially from my hometown. Nobody knew I was doing The Voice, and to go not only get on The Voice and represent, the small 2,500 person city of Andrews, South Carolina. So like, it inspired a lot of people, a lot of kids, a lot of people telling me that their kids were like blown away, and they want to pursue, and now they want to go forth, and to see thousands of messages from people that were really defending the choices that they made on The Voice. Like, what? Oh my goodness, you're supposed to go all the way to the end, but boom, boom. And honestly, for me, it has redefined what I do. Not that I lost the definition of what I do already, but it was a reminder of just be yourself. Like, you're this soulful rocket singer that, like you said, that can morph and that can sing anything, any type of music. Yes, that's me. At the core, I could sing any genre of music. I've had the years of doing it, and it just felt good to really be able to show that, even in those moments, to be able to pull that out. And man, it's amazing to get the love from people, receive the love from people, and to go places and people recognize you. I think that's like the biggest part, for people to recognize you in different places. Because I've been camping in the woods one time, just recently on a family camping trip, and someone recognized me in the middle of nowhere. And so I thought that was cool. And then I just did the Star Spangled Banner for the Atlanta Dream this Wednesday, and someone came up to me, and a few people, they're gonna look at you and say, "You look familiar." And so when I tell them, "Oh yeah, I was on The Voice," they're like, "Oh, I knew it." It feels
Awesome, awesome. We have a lot of questions coming in. I'm only going to take one question, and then I have one more thing I want to ask you, and we can wrap it up. We have a guest here who says, "Who's your favorite guitarist?" You
ooh,
have
good question. Good question. I'm picky with my guitars, man. So I would have to say, now we talking about like back in the days. I love guitars that are passionate, but I have to say Prince. Prince is one of my favorite guitarists. He's my number one guitarist, like guitarist artist. His whole makeup, you know, he's someone that I've studied kind of extensively as far as guitar goes, and not just playing it, but like becoming the moment and playing it too. Like being able to become one with that guitar, and that takes a lot of practice. And that's something I practice on often to be able to have that showmanship. So Prince is definitely one of my favorite guitarists. And then I love Eric Clapton, George Benson. Here I go naming. So the list goes on, even with bass guitars such as Victor Wooten and man, yeah, Hendrik Linder. Whew, the list is deep, y'all.
Well, you're well seasoned. That makes me smile because I'm like,
Yeah,
now I get it. I
yeah,
understand why you're so good. And this woman keeps asking you to sing. So listen, let me ask my question, and then I'm going to ask you to just sing. Thank you for tuning into the Sisters Talk podcast. But
yeah.
towards the end, if you want to, because listen, this is your talent. You spend your talent the way you want to spend your talent. That's hilarious, though. My final question to you would be, and thank you so much for answering that question about guitarists, because I too love Prince as well. I love me some Prince.
On BB King, the BB King. Sorry, I had to say that. That's
Yeah.
my there. Okay.
I was going to ask you for people who are actively trying to find their way, right? Navigating through life with their talent. What is your advice to those people? How do they overcome those barriers?
um, how I do it. My advice is, in the lowest moments, be the highest form of yourself. Like pray, like there's no tomorrow. Become a Bible reader. Become a person that can meditate, that can walk, like use everything around you in these low moments. Because when you sit idle and nothing's happening and you just let it happen, you'll never get up and really push towards it. So I would say in your lowest moments, be the highest form of yourself always. Find your passion in everything you do. Like me, I mean, there were moments when I didn't get much shows, so I would come in here and I would literally go downstairs and pretend I'm on the show, like, and just prepare myself. This is a true story before The Voice. Like, I would literally prep myself for the moment someone would call my name, and I would go on stage and I would introduce myself and I would say where I'm from, and then I would sing certain songs and I would play, and it wasn't even the songs that I sung on the show. It's just the practice of something, and the whole time I'm not even getting booked to do no shows, but I'm preparing for when I do. It's just like I'm already ready to go, just waiting on that moment. So, like, yes, be the highest form of yourself in your lowest moments, and I feel like that's how you take the steps the right way.
You couldn't have answered that any better. Preparation.
Yeah,
Preparation is key. And wow, you were even more than what I imagined. And I just want to thank you, Mr. Jamar Langley, for gracing the Sisters Talk podcast today. You're very inspiring, and you're highly talented. You will go everywhere your heart desires.
thank you.
Your humility just blows me away, and it's very refreshing. So we want to thank you for being on the show, and I want to thank all the guests who were able to get up early on this Saturday morning to
Yeah,
be here. Amen. Because we know everybody likes to sleep in on
right.
Saturday morning, because I do. But I do seriously appreciate you for taking out time out of your schedule to be here. And if I could, and you don't have to agree, but could you just sing? Thank you for tuning in. Just that part.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, because I want to hear
Thank you for tuning in. Ooh. Mm.
those runs. Stop playing with them. And he gave that to y'all for free. But seriously though, thank you guys for tuning in to the Sisters Talk podcast, and thank you so much for serenading the show. We
Yes,
appreciate you.
pleasure. Thank you so much. I love it. Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody, for beautiful comments, asking me questions, because I love to give answers. Thank you for your insight, asking all the great questions and allowing me to express more of my story. So I do appreciate it.
Anytime. You're always welcome back to this show, guys. Again, guys, I will see you next month. It's been real. Jamar Langley, make sure you check out his material. He has a YouTube channel. Go support this man. He has several songs out released. Would you like to tell them what you have in store?
Yes. So I actually have a single I just released 2 weeks ago entitled Far From Paradise. You guys go check it out. Again, it's like I'm bridging the gap of the 70s and 80s to 2023. You're gonna love it. Check it out. Alongside that, I have 2 albums that I did in 2020 and 2021. In My Dreams and Love Sessions Volume 1. Check those out. I got a bunch of videos on my YouTube channel. Got a few singles on my YouTube channel as well. And if you didn't see me on The Voice, they have that on there too. So go look at that. Yes.
Check them out. Check them out, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And y'all have a blessed weekend. Bye for now.